At first glance, Banff looks completely free. Fresh mountain air, open skies, streets lined with cafes, shops, and travelers from around the world. It feels like the kind of place where anyone would want to stay forever. But here's the strange truth. Banff is one of the most controlled towns in Canada. You can't simply decide to live here. The town cannot grow like most places. And behind the postcard beauty is a system of hidden rules designed to protect something bigger than the town itself. Because Banff isn't just a destination, it's an experiment, and somehow it works. Thanks for joining me on this walk through Banff today. So walk with me through Banff Town as we explore the streets, the scenery, and the atmosphere of one of Canada's most famous mountain towns, while uncovering the hidden rules that quietly shape everything around us. The first time I walked through Banff, I expected beauty. That part was easy. The mountains rise so suddenly behind town that they almost look unreal. Even ordinary moments, waiting at a crosswalk, passing a bakery, looking into a shop window, happen beneath towering peaks. But after a while, another feeling replaced the first impression: curiosity. Because Banff didn't feel like other famous places. Usually when somewhere becomes globally popular, it gets louder, more crowded, more chaotic, more overbuilt. Yet Banff still felt compact, still felt calm, still felt strangely connected to the landscape around it. And the longer I walked, the more I wanted to know why. So to understand Banff, we first need to understand something bigger than the town itself. Banff was never just a town in the mountains. It was built inside protected wilderness. Banff sits within Banff National Park, established in 1885, making it Canada's first national park. That means nature came first. Protection came first. The town had to fit into that reality. The park spans more than 6,600 square kilometers of forests, rivers, glaciers, valleys, and mountain landscapes. And within all of that, Banff Town occupies only a tiny footprint. That changes how the place feels. You never feel like the town dominates the valley. You feel like the town has been allowed to borrow space from it. Look around carefully. Buildings are small compared to the peaks. Roads feel temporary beneath the mountains. Even busy streets seem modest under the scale of the Rockies. And maybe that's the first hidden rule of Banff. The town can exist here, but it can never pretend it is bigger than the landscape. But Banff's most surprising rule isn't about land, it's about people. Imagine visiting Banff, falling in love with the scenery, and deciding you'd like to stay forever. In most places, that would simply be a personal decision. In Banff, it's more complicated. You generally need a legitimate reason connected to work, business, or essential services tied to the community or park. Why? Because Banff understands something many places learn too late. If everyone who loves a place moves there, the place can lose what made it special. Too many homes, too many roads, too much pressure on land and wildlife, too much growth. So Banff chose limits, and limits shape daily life here. The permanent population is only around 8,000 residents. That surprises many first-time visitors, because Banff feels much busier than that. But activity and population are not the same thing. Banff is powered by movement. Visitors arrive, travelers pass through, workers rotate, yet the resident base remains small. And once you know who can stay, the next question becomes obvious. How many people actually come? Every year, Banff welcomes millions of visitors, families, road trippers, photographers, adventure travelers, couples celebrating special moments. People from all over the world walk these same streets. That creates something unusual. Banff feels local and international at the same time. You hear many languages. You see hiking boots beside luxury coats, coffee cups beside trail maps, adventure beside comfort. And despite all that movement, Banff still often feels manageable, still walkable, still intimate. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because Banff never had permission to grow endlessly. And that surprisingly small population reveals something bigger. Banff did not become famous by chance. In the late 1800s, railway expansion opened Western Canada to travelers. Then came the discovery of nearby hot springs. Soon, Banff was promoted not as a place to work, but as a place to experience. Fresh mountain air, healing waters, grand scenery, luxury travel, adventure. Hotels were built, journeys were marketed. The mountains became a dream destination. Banff became one of Canada's earliest tourism success stories. That legacy still lives on. You can feel it in the blend of rugged wilderness and refined hospitality. A person can spend the morning beside a rushing river and the evening dining in elegance. Yet for all the hotels and visitors, Banff never lost the one thing that matters most. In many destinations, nature becomes background scenery. In Banff, nature never fully surrendered. Wildlife remains part of the story. Elk are often seen in and around town. Deer appear surprisingly close to roads and open spaces. The Bow River continues flowing cold and glacier-fed through the valley. And the mountains never let you forget where you are. Turn a corner, and there they are. Look past a rooftop, there they are. Wait at a traffic light, there they are. The peaks keep returning. That changes how people behave. It reminds everyone that human life here is sharing space, not owning it. And maybe that's why visitors feel something here they struggle to describe. Most visitors never talk about planning policy or residency systems. They simply say, Banff feels calm. Banff feels different. Banff feels nice. And they're right. What they are feeling is the result of hidden structure. Compact streets, walkable scale, visible mountains, limited outward growth. The town sits around 1,383 meters above sea level, adding cooler air in a sharper mountain atmosphere. Then there is the pace. Banff encourages walking, and walking changes experience. You notice bakery smells. You notice sunlight moving across the peaks. You notice the rhythm of people slowing down. But protecting beauty always comes with a price. No place solves popularity perfectly. Restrictions can create housing pressure. Limited space can challenge workers. Peak season crowds can test infrastructure. Traffic can build. Banff is not a fantasy town. It is a real place managing real trade-offs. And perhaps that makes it more impressive, because staying beautiful after becoming famous is harder than becoming famous in the first place. Many places know how to attract people. Far fewer know how to protect what attracted them. And that brings us to the real reason Banff stays in people's memories. People remember Banff for the views, but they return in memory for something deeper. A small town with global recognition, busy streets beneath silent mountains, tourism inside protection, movement inside stillness. Banff feels memorable because it chose limits in a world that usually chooses endless expansion. And because of that, it still feels like a place, not just a product. And those are the hidden rules of Banff. The quiet reasons this town feels so different from so many places in the world. But if you'd like, stay with me a little longer. Let's keep walking through Banff together until the end of the video. No more rules, no more explanations, just the streets, the mountains, the sounds, and the atmosphere of one of Canada's most beautiful towns. Take it in. And if you're enjoying this journey, a like or subscription always helps support more videos like this. Sometimes the best way to understand a place is simply to slow down inside it, to hear the footsteps, to notice the mountain light, to watch people pass through moments that will probably stay with them for years. Banff is famous for the big things, the peaks, the rivers, the views. But often what people remember most are the small things, the air, the pace, the feeling of walking here. Places like Banff remind us that travel isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about noticing more. And sometimes a simple walk through town can tell a bigger story than any landmark ever could. As our walk through Banff comes to an end, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed walking through Banff with me today, please like this video. It really helps support the channel. Share it with someone dreaming of visiting Banff or Canada. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss future travel stories and walking documentaries from around the world. And if you'd like even more detailed Banff facts, travel tips, hotel reviews, and full guides, visit my travel blog linked below. There's a lot more waiting for you there. Thanks for walking with me, and I'll see you on the next journey.